Good evening to all of our Rotarians and guests at the annual District 6630 Foundation Awards celebration. In addition to each of you, we are honored to have with us Jennifer Jones, the President nominee of Rotary International 2022 and 2023. Welcome, Jennifer. And we are also honored to have Bloyd Lancia, the Rotary International Director of Zones 30-31. Welcome, Floyd. We're usually watching each of you on your Zoom meetings. Past Rotary International Director Michael Johns is with us, as well as all of the District 6630 past district governors. As you can see, we are not downtown Cleveland, and we do not have our ugly sweaters on tonight. Past District Governor John Reyes, who is here, and Foundation Chair Jim Lechko, and District Governor nominee of 2022 and 2023, David Jones, who is handling our camera and microphone, are here at this beautifully decorated Akron Rotary Camp for children with special needs. And we're located in Franklin Township. So we're keeping each other and you safe during this pandemic by holding a virtual celebration this year. When I thought about this and our week of Thanksgiving in the United States, I remembered how settlers, including each of my grandmother's families, who came to the United States and to Canada, came to lonely wildernesses where they sacrificed. They, like our banner here behind Governor Reyes, says, together they united, they took action, they created lasting change. And after they had their first harvest, they set aside time to give thanks for blessings of the preceding year, for food, for surviving, and for their health. The challenges they faced bound them together. That is what we are doing tonight. We are setting aside time to thank you for your sacrifices, for sharing with others, and for keeping each other healthy. We're going to first have you meet someone who's very special to me and one of the nicest persons you could ever know. The president-elect of the Hudson Clock Tower Rotary Club and my partner, John Laird, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you all stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. It's also an honor to introduce Steve Warren, an award-winning director of operations of Fox Sports and the chair of the E-Club of Northeast Ohio, a satellite of the Northampton Cuyahoga Valley Rotary Club, and the spouse of our past district governor and webmaster, whom you've been hearing, Cheryl Warren. Steve will lead us in a moment of inspiration.
Some guy, some of you may have heard of him, named Paul Harris, once wrote, What a privilege it is to be linked with 150,000 other men of more than 80 nations, differing in languages, customs, historical backgrounds, and yet alike in one respect, all businessmen held together by a common ideal applicable to all phases of life, the ideal which is popularly known as the ideal of service. In the more than 70 years since Paul Harris wrote those words, some things have changed, while others have remained the same. Rotary membership has grown by 800% in those 70 plus years. And now both men and women share that common ideal. But the ideal of service, which is the core of Rotary, has not changed. My friends and fellow Rotarians, you have this power, the power to use language to share your ideas, to touch hearts, and to bring about change in the world. As Rotarians, we have the power to speak and share, to explain and educate, to inspire and influence. It is our responsibility to share our talents and our ideas and to find meaning in other people's messages. May we use our skills to provide service to others less fortunate and help them to be self-sustaining. May we continue to grow as Rotarians so that we stand in our communities as a symbol of those willing to freely put service above self and to make our communities and our world a better place to live.
Thank you, Steve. It's now my honor to introduce Jennifer Jones, President nominee of the Rotary International 2022-23. Jennifer is the founder and president of Media Street Productions Incorporated, a 25-year-old award-winning media company in Windsor, Ontario. She is a proud member of the Rotary Club of Windsor-Roseland. Her talents have strengthened Rotary reach and impact through many roles, including as trustee of the Rotary Foundation, RI Vice President, and co-chair of the End Polio Now, Make History Today campaign, raising funds alongside Bill and Melinda Gates and their foundation. Jennifer is a leader in cultivating experiential fundraising opportunities, such as Rotary's Polio Golf Day with Jack Nicklaus in Jupiter, Florida, USA, which raised over $5.25 million for polio eradication in one day. Or the innovative virtual COVID-19 Rotary Response event that raised money for COVID-19 relief projects and showcased Rotary's response across the globe. Working alongside political figures, celebrities, and global leaders, she uses her voice to raise awareness and hundreds of millions of dollars to eradicate disease, support peace, and provide clean water and sanitation in developing areas of the world. Her skill as an expert storyteller inspires hope and promise and motivates people to take action. She has received many honors and recognitions, including Rotary's Service Above Self Award and the Citation for Meritorious Service, the YMCA Peace Medallion, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal, and Wayne State University's Peacemaker of the Year Award, a first for a Canadian. Jennifer is married to Rotarian Nick Prpich, a local family physician. They share a love for many things, including travel, cycling, golf, and relaxing at their family cottage. And they share a thirst for adventure, which has included cresting the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, Africa. Jennifer has accomplished so many things. I think it's because it's who she is as a person. She is truly an amazing person of integrity, warmth, and a caring, compassionate friend of every person she meets. Welcome, Jennifer Jones, to District 6630 Foundation Celebration.
Well, Governor Pat, thank you so much for the incredibly beautiful welcome. And it is such a joy to be able to be with all of you here this evening. And, you know, when you talked about the time that we enjoy at our family cottage, if I were there tonight, it's only a half an hour drive away from where we are right now. If I were there and I could throw a stone clear across the lake, it would land practically in Cleveland, Ohio, not far from where all of you are situated right now. And so even though we're in our own homes and we're in a different country, we're really actually pretty close together. And it's such a joy to be able to celebrate with all of you your very special foundation evening tonight, and all of the recognitions for individuals and clubs that have been so gracious in being able to understand the incredible value of our Rotary Foundation. And I do want to just give a shout out to obviously some folks that are on the call. I can't even begin to start because there are too many of you that I love dearly as family who are on this call. But I do want to reference that our regional director, zone director Floyd Lancia is on the call, and past Rotary International director Mike Johns also on the call tonight. And just so many incredibly dear friends, all of the past district governors. I've spent a lot of time in your neck of the woods, and it's a place that I hold dear in my heart. So tonight, I have some thoughts that I want to be able to share with you about the Rotary Foundation, and then some special recognitions that we are going to be able to bestow this evening, that it is my honor and privilege to be able to be here and to celebrate with some very, very dear friends. I do bring you greetings tonight from the Rotary Foundation, from our chairman, Ravi Ravindran, all of the trustees, as well as our board, President Holger, and the entire board of directors, including Floyd. I know that it's a privilege when we get a chance to be able to talk with Rotarians in districts around the world to say thank you during our foundation month, and to recognize the incredible generosity of spirit and of our resources, both our talents and our financial resources to support things that we like to do good in the world. And so over the next few minutes, I do want to share with you some of the initiatives that are signature of our foundation. So this year clearly has challenged the world in ways that none of us could have anticipated. COVID-19 has changed the way that we work, we socialize, and even the way that we celebrate. At this difficult time, the world needs Rotary to help bring people together. The world needs Rotary to help the most vulnerable. And Rotarians need each other to stay connected and to take action against COVID-19. But you know, even in the midst of this ongoing public health challenge, you and I both know there is still news worth celebrating. I'm proud of the work that you're doing to stop the spread of COVID-19 and to help your neighbors. I'm also proud of the fact that all of our hard work is being recognized. Recently, Rotary was ranked in the top 10 volunteering organizations of 2020 by LinkedIn, which tracked nonprofits with the highest average number of monthly volunteers. So it's clear that our mission has never been more important. Now, with regard to COVID, we're people of action. People, as you heard Pat say, who create lasting change. Equipped by the resources of the Rotary Foundation, we're able to make a difference in thousands of communities throughout the world. We have already moved more than $30 million through the Rotary Foundation in global grants and disaster response grants right to the front line. And you have taken decisive action to fight COVID-19. Whether it's by hosting online meetings like this, to discussing public health best practices, or saving businesses during this pandemic. You know, I know you're also seriously thinking about the future, holding meetings like this in new ways, and discussing ways to engage future members. We have embraced our ability to adapt in ways that we probably never thought possible. But you know, some things don't change, and one of them is gratitude. Each year, we celebrate the Rotary Foundation during the month of November, and there's more good news. We know that through June 30th, our foundation has raised and invested more than $5.3 billion for programs that have lasting effects in each of our communities. They empower Rotary members to continue promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies all over the world. Rotary Peace Fellowship applications increased 180% between 2015 and 2020, which shows that our interest in Rotary's Peace Centers is growing rapidly. One of the impacts of the coronavirus pandemic is that it's also shed light on the relationship between environmental degradation and threats to public health. Earlier this year, the RI Board and the Board of Trustees decided to add a new area of focus, supporting the environment, that will offer our members, each one of us, you and I, another dedicated channel to increasing our positive impact. This is really, I think, exciting news, and this area of focus will launch officially on July 1st. And this past Rotary Year, we set an ambitious fundraising goal of $400 million. And it's no surprise that Rotarians rallied together and helped the foundation surpass the goal and raise $408 million. This year, we have our eyes set on a goal of $410 million. And even against the backdrop of this global pandemic, we're well on track to achieving this goal. As a matter of fact, we reviewed the budget just days ago, and we are trending exactly where we need to be. These funds have boosted our efforts to eradicate polio, train the world's peace builders, and support district and global grants. Thanks to generous Rotarians like you, we awarded 1,350 global grants in 2019-2020, and grants for polio eradication totaled $151.8 million. As many of you know, we took action for the cause of public health long before COVID appeared. And because of our experience, we're making a profound difference today. The polio eradication program is already using the advanced disease eradication infrastructure to protect the vulnerable from COVID-19, especially in what we know as polio endemic countries. This year, Africa was certified wild polio free. This is big news, and it's not something that we should take for granted. Just over a decade ago, Africa was struck by 3/4 of all wild polio cases in the world, and now more than 1 billion people who live on the African continent are safe from this terrible virus. But we still have one big celebration to go. We now need to finish the job and complete Rotary's mission of a world without polio. And each of us have an important role in making this vision a reality. Rotarians around the world are working tirelessly to support this global effort. And it's not going to be easy. We know that there are many challenges ahead of us. COVID-19 impacted our polio eradication efforts, but it hasn't stopped it. We've learned something else about our Polio Plus campaign this year, that the infrastructure that our global polio partners helped build over decades is one of the most powerful public health tools on the planet, with an impact that is well beyond polio eradication. And speaking of great stories, one Rotarian in Lagos, Nigeria, has been working tirelessly for decades to end polio in Africa. Dr. Tunji Funsho is a cardiologist, a chair of Rotary's Nigeria National Polio Plus Committee, a committed Rotarian, and now he's been named one of Time 100's most influential people of the year as recognition for his role in helping to kick polio out of Africa. Time's list is clearly impressive. And as many of you know, it's previously included people like Oprah Winfrey and Angela Merkel, Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama, and now Tunji Funsho. The campaign in Africa succeeded because of people like Tunji, all committed to the same goal. And you know what? If you ask Tunji what he thinks about that honor, he'll be the first to tell you that he is the face of all 1.2 million Rotarians around the world, all dedicated to making sure that we cross the finish line. I'm proud of what we've accomplished. I know you are too, but we're not done yet. Wild polio virus still exists in Afghanistan and Pakistan, And the world can't be free of a wild polio world until we reach every last child. And that's what makes Rotary so special. Our ability, as President Holger Knack says, to open opportunities for others and for ourselves. In closing this part of my remarks, I want to thank you for each of your outstanding service, for everything that you do for our organization, for your communities, for our world. Thank you for giving what you can to the Rotary Foundation so that we can continue to do more good in the world. You know, each of us wants to show how Rotary opens opportunities through our Rotary service, and your role as a leader in Rotary gives you one of the best opportunities possible to do just that. Now, I know that we're going to shift into recognizing some Rotarians in your district for their exemplary contributions and their commitment to doing good in the world. And at this time, I'm going to pivot over to that unless someone tells me otherwise. I don't hear anyone, so I'm going to continue. It now gives me immense pleasure to recognize two very special couples from your district who I consider to be incredibly good friends. This is a very profound recognition, and we're recognizing two couples for their contributions in the category of major donor to the Rotary Foundation. And Steve and Catherine Zabor and Cheryl and Steve Warren are the two couples that we're going to recognize this evening. And I see that Steve and Catherine are being highlighted on the screen, and so I will go to them first and then come back and recognize Cheryl and Steve. Steve and Catherine are being recognized tonight in Major Donor Level 2. That means that their contributions to the Rotary Foundation are doing incredible work. And service to the community has been an important part of past District Governor Steve's life. And the eradication of polio, which I just spoke about, has been an important reason for Steve and Catherine's support of the Rotary Foundation. Steve has administered polio vaccines to children 3 different times, first on a project safari to Nigeria, and then during 2 trips in India for National Immunization Days. He has given many presentations on the Global Polio Eradication Initiative to your district, and I know that you have heard from him. Catherine, though not officially a member, has been a true Rotarian and provided support to Steve's passion for service above self for a very long time. Catherine has served as a facilitator for spouse and partner training for zones 28 and 29, and she recently led an effort to create a new e-club. Steve, a Paul Harris Fellow since 1988, both he and Catherine's personal belief in the work of the Rotary Foundation led them to recently achieve Major Donor Level 2 status. They are Bequest Society members through a will commitment to the foundation, and clearly this is something that they know will leave a legacy for them and for their family. On a very personal note, Steve and Catherine have been incredible friends for many years, and I am particularly grateful for Steve's leadership in Rotary and the development of learning and training of regional leaders, something that we worked on collectively for a number of years, and I always appreciated his incredibly wise counsel and his steady hand in everything that we worked on together. I can't thank you both for all of your leadership and for your friendship. Steve and Catherine are leaders in our community, in their church, and in their world. They are dear friends, and tonight it is my incredible pleasure to be able to recognize you both as Level 2 major donors to the Rotary Foundation for your incredible commitment to people that you know you will never meet, and for making sure that your legacy lives on for a very, very long time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I just wish I could be there in person to give you a great big hug. You're two incredible friends, very, very special people, and if we could all give the Zoom applause, I'm going to lead it off with a little bit of hands. This is the way we do it in Zoom world. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if you would like to say something, but my sincerest congratulations and thanks, more appropriately so, my sincere thanks for your incredible generosity. Now, I would like to go to to Cheryl and Steve. And the second recognition that I want to be able to recognize this evening, and that is their induction into Major Donor Level 1 status. Steve and Cheryl have become very good friends, and it started, with Nick and I when we all shared a leadership experience during 2015 and 2016 under then President Ravi Ravindran. And that was the year that Cheryl served as your district governor. And, Cheryl has had volunteerism and charity work in her blood from a very young age. She helped her mother deliver meals to the elderly long before she could drive. She assisted her father with the Junior Achievement Club he mentored, and she's been a volunteer with Special Olympics and local animal groups in your area, in your region. Cheryl's introduction came to Rotary in 1995 when she joined the Rotary Club of Akron. And Steve's path to Rotary was one that engaged the was that of an engaged spouse partner. He attended and participated in many of Cheryl's events until 2014, and that's when he and Cheryl attended the Rotary International Convention in Sydney, Australia. And the amazing interaction with Rotarians from all over the world, after that he decided it was time to join. And he became a member of the Rotary Club at that time of Akron, and now is a member of the E-Club NEO. Am I saying that correct? I hope that that's correct. As advocates of the Rotary International Foundation, both Steve and Cheryl are members of the Paul Harris Society and the Bequest Society. And tonight, we celebrate their induction as Level 1 members of the Rotary Foundation Major Donor Level. And it is with such profound joy that I am able to recognize you both for what it is that you do in your community, in your world, and the way that you are showing and shining a light for so many others to understand what is possible. And, you're truly changing lives one way, one day, in many, many parts of the world. And so it is my honor to be able to be with all of you tonight to recognize Cheryl and Steve and Catherine for your incredible generosity. Applause, 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 and what a joy to be able to recognize you all tonight. Thank you, and a privilege to be able to be with you. And with that, I will, I think, turn it over to immediate past District Governor John. A pleasure to be able to see you as well tonight, sir. So please, over to you.
Thanks for being with us tonight, for honoring us. And you truly have been a great friend of our district for so many years. It's a pleasure to have you here and for you to do this special recognition of two sets of people who have given so much to our district. Past District Governor and Vice Governor Steve Zaber and Catherine Craig, and past District Governor Cheryl Warren and Steve Warren for their generosity and their gifts. Thank you.
The meeting is not
The award ceremony. Oh. The award ceremony recognizes and honors those individuals and clubs who share their resources to support the Rotary Foundation in all the many ways we've just heard from Jennifer Jones. As one person, we can do quite a bit, but when we combine with others, we can heal, educate, support, develop, resolve conflicts, bringing peace so others can live and thrive. It's now my pleasure to introduce the District Governor of 2019-2020, past District Governor John Reyes, who will discuss the opportunity in this year of a pandemic that the Rotary Foundation Matching Grant Program provided in our district. It's often said that you are where you're supposed to be at that time, right then or now. John Reyes, an attorney with Buckingham, Doolittle, and Burroughs for 42 years, and husband to Linda Reyes, an infectious disease professional, has used his professional, personal, and leadership skills and experience to not only guide our district through the pandemic, always seeking to keep members safe, including our youth. He organized and still leads the Youth Safety and Protection Committee. He chairs the District Transition Committee, He mentors the district governor chain by being chair of the transition committee. He's chair of the district nominating committee and will select the district governor nominee-elect for 2020, 23, and 2024 with that committee. A donor who does not seek recognition, but who has provided extensive support, and this Rotary camp is one example of how he has invested his money. It is my pleasure to turn the microphone over to past District Governor John Reyes.
Thank you, Pat. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. It's also a pleasure to add my welcome and thanks to all of you for attending our District Foundation celebration tonight. I'd like to briefly add my thanks and congratulations to our major donors. These are 4 of the most special people you are ever likely to meet. Their commitment to Rotary and its various facets is really unexcelled by anyone, and we are grateful to have them as members of our district. Jennifer, we also appreciate your help tonight. It's very much appreciated. My task is limited. I only have 2, and the first is to highlight District 6630's disaster response grant, which of course was obtained through a special opportunity provided by the Rotary Foundation. At the outset of the pandemic, District 6630's grants committee literally swung into action, was ably led by its chair, Matt Liebson, together with Jim Lechko and Rick Pollack. They created a unique grant proposal. They did it by surveying the district and then taking those results and designing a disaster relief matching grant to help out in the pandemic in a rather special way. The grant was designed to enable the district to supply 10,500 level 2 hospital gowns to various hospitals in our region. Of course, these gowns are a critical form of personal protective equipment for hospital staff members. The gowns, once they were obtained and delivered here, were then delivered to 7 different hospitals in the northeastern Ohio area. Each of those hospitals coordinated with a Rotary Club in that process. Those hospitals included the Akron Children's Hospital, done in cooperation with the Rotary Club of Akron, the Cleveland Clinic, done in cooperation with the Rotary Club of Cleveland, Southwest General Hospital, done in cooperation with the Rotary Club of Berea, UH Bedford Medical Center, done in cooperation with the Rotary Club of Bedford, UH Cuyahoga Medical Center, done in cooperation with the Rotary Clubs of Chagrin Valley and Chesterland, now known as Cuyahoga West, Western Reserve Hospital, done in cooperation with the Rotary Club of Cuyahoga Falls, and the Ashtabula Medical Center, done in cooperation with the Rotary Club of Ashtabula. I'd truly like to add my congratulations to the District Grants Committee, to Matt, Jim, and Rick, as well as all of the clubs and individual Rotarians who participated in this extremely valuable and unique grant put together in an emergency situation. Now, I do have one additional task, and that task is kind of fun, but in fact, there is little, if anything, that we all work together on in Rotary that is of greater importance than supporting the Rotary International Foundation in all of its many facets. But it is also extremely important, and maybe more important, to recognize and thank the many individuals and clubs who support the foundation. And it's my pleasure to introduce Jim Lechko, the chair of our district's foundation committee, who will be recognizing and honoring these clubs and individuals for their good work with the Rotary Foundation in the 2019-2020 Rotary Year. As many of you know, Jim works tirelessly on behalf of the district and the foundation. He was gracious enough to accept my request that he take over as chair of our foundation committee at the conclusion of Bob Johnson's term. Jim is in regular contact with all of the clubs in the district, and he has an active team who works relentlessly to support the foundation and its many programs. On a more personal note, Jim joined the Rotary Club of Lakewood-Rocky River in October of 2001. And in addition to his many roles at the district level, he has a number of club positions that he has held over the years, including program chair, treasurer, and club president from 2006 to 2007. Jim, of course, has also served as our district grants committee chair. In fact, that's a committee he still serves on. He's been an assistant governor, and he's currently also our Paul Harris Society chair. It is with great pleasure that I turn the microphone over to Jim Lechko.
Thank you, John, and good evening, fellow Rotarians and guests. It is my privilege on behalf of the Rotary Foundation, District 6630, District Governor Pat Myers, past District Governor John Reyes, to recognize the following Rotary clubs, Rotarians, and Paul Harris Fellow recipients for their support of the Rotary Foundation and living out the ideals of Rotary, including doing good in the world and service above self. For those of you not familiar with the Paul Harris Fellow, it is the highest form of recognition the Rotary Foundation can bestow upon an individual for their service to the community and support of the foundation. And as you heard earlier, Paul Harris is the founder of Rotary International. This evening, certain clubs will be recognized with Every Rotarian Every Year banners, where clubs had average giving of $100 or more per member, with each member contributing at least $25 to the annual fund. The 100% Foundation Giving Club banner recognizes clubs, again, with $100 or more average giving per member, with each member contributing at least $25 to any of the foundation funds. It could be the annual fund, Polio Plus, the endowment fund, or an approved grant. The Polio Plus Club banner will recognize clubs that have contributed at least $1,500 to the Rotary's Polio Plus campaign, and clubs that had 100% giving to the Rotary Foundation during the 2019-20 Rotary Year qualified for a Paul Harris Fellow, which they will be awarding tonight to a deserving recipient. So let's get started. At the district level, we can be very proud of our contributions to the foundation last year. We were one of only 4 districts in Zone 30 that had an increase in giving to the annual fund, where once again, our per capita average in giving is above $100. Our Polio Plus giving has been consistently over $100,000 a year for several years, thanks in a large part to the very generous giving of one of our Rotarians in the Rotary Club of Cleveland. And of course, our biggest goal is to have all Rotarians giving something to the foundation. This year, we'll be recognizing 11 clubs that had 100% member giving to the foundation, and 9 clubs with 100% Every Rotarian Every Year giving. Now let's take a look at our top 3 giving clubs based on the average per capita giving. Our top giving club is Nordonia Hills, President John Bosco, where their average was $1,230.83. Very impressive number there. Our second place club was the Rotary Club of Fairlawn, where Darathan Krill is the president, and their giving averaged at $348.75. And in third place, the Lakewood-Rocky River Sunrise Club, President Linda Carter, at $305. Congratulations to these clubs, and thanks to these presidents for the leadership they provided in reaching these milestones. Each club will receive a banner in recognition of their achievement. Now let's take a look at clubs that had 100% participation in giving to the Rotary Foundation. Ashtabula, Burton-Middlefield, Cuyahoga Falls, Fairlawn, Kent, Lakewood-Rocky River, Mantua, Medina Sunrise, Mentor, Port Summit, and Ravenna. In addition to 100% member participation, those clubs shown with an asterisk also achieved $100 per capita giving and will receive a club banner. For achieving 100% member giving, each club will award a Paul Harris Fellow to a deserving recipient. So let's meet these people. The Rotary Club of Ashtabula and President Trevor Sprague are proud to recognize Thomas Chubb with the Paul Harris Fellow. Trevor tells us that we chose Tom because of his service beyond our club. He is a great Rotarian, but beyond that, he gives much of himself to the community, and specifically the aquatics programs that save lives, build character, and develops our youth. Congratulations, Tom. The Burton-Middlefield Club and President Mark Zakarczewski are proud to recognize Lynn Algeri with the Paul Harris Fellow. Mark tells us that Lynn was a volunteer at the Middlefield VFW post about 10 years ago when her daughter sustained injuries during deployment in Iraq. The support that Lynn and her family received from Cuyahoga County Veteran Service Center led Lynn to become involved as a non-veteran. She formed the Cuyahoga County Veteran Food Pantry, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and has developed an organization that is far more than just a food distribution site. The veterans that visit the pantry have formed a social club where veterans can talk to other veterans and discuss issues that are important to each other while enjoying coffee, a prayer, and fellowship. Lynn, along with her husband and other volunteers, form a bond with veterans and keep a close eye on their status and assess their physical and mental needs and encourage referrals as needed. The pantry works with all other food pantries in the county, sharing items as needed. Lynn makes sure that the homebound veterans receive a good selection of fresh meats, fruits, vegetables, and staples, and works with veterans who require special items. Mark has had the privilege to observe the pantry in action as veterans visited the pantry. Mark says that I have to say that I'm extremely impressed with her organization plan, execution, and development, but it's her passion, love, and concern for their well-being that she gives to the veterans that is most remarkable. She is truly an incredible woman, and Cuyahoga County is better because of Lynn. Congratulations, Lynn. The Cuyahoga Falls Club and President Rick Pollock are proud to recognize Louis Prpich. Rick tells us the Rotary Club of Cuyahoga Falls has selected Chef Louis Prpich as the honoree for the Paul Harris Fellow recognition. Louis is the owner of the Chowder House Cafe. When we invited Chowder House to participate in the first annual Flavors of the Falls, he not only agreed, he asked to serve on the committee. As a committee member, he helped us to shape the event, recruit other restaurants to participate, and provided a good bit of in-kind supplies. Truly a Rotarian at heart, Louis demonstrates service above self, and we are proud to be associated with him and even more proud to recognize him with this award. Congratulations, Louis. The Fairlawn Club and President Darathan Krill are proud to recognize John Landis with the Paul Harris Fellow. Darathan tells us that John works for an international large ventilation fan company, but he is also a naturalist at the Bath Nature Preserve and is a right-hand person at the Fairlawn Rotary Observatory. He has designed really cool t-shirts for the observatory to sell and hosted many events. His son, who is a graphic artist, designed really fun planet signs for the Apollo anniversary that are now a permanent part of the Bath Nature Preserve. Darathan says that he would also love to have him become a part of Rotary, especially since his parent company is based in Germany, the home country of Rotary International President, Holder Konek. Congratulations, John. The Kent Club and President Roger Sidoti is proud to recognize Michelle M. Hartman. Roger tells us that Michelle was chosen to receive the Paul Harris Fellow from the Rotary Club of Kent because of her many years of dedication and service to the Kent community. Michelle has given countless hours to Main Street Kent, a nonprofit advocate organization working to enhance and improve our community. Since 2006, she organized and managed Brunch Bunch, a Thanksgiving morning community fundraiser supporting several area nonprofits. Over $750,000 has been raised at Brunch Bunch since she took over. Michelle has also given her time and talents to support Kent Roosevelt High School athletics and Kent social services. Michelle has received numerous awards recognizing her leadership and accomplishments, including in 2019, the Kent Chamber of Commerce's highest honor, the W.W. Reed Public Service Award. When she is not serving the community in her many volunteer capacities, Michelle is the Chief Operating Officer and Executive Vice President of the Prpich Companies. She also serves as a board trustee of the Prpich Foundation. The Kent Rotary is proud to present this Paul Harris Fellow to someone who truly lives by the service above self motto of Rotary International. Congratulations, Michelle. The Lakewood-Rocky River Club and President Marjorie Corrigan is proud to recognize Celia Glover-Dorsch with her Paul Harris Fellow. Marjorie tells us Celia spent her career helping others and teaching Lakewood's youth the value of giving back to their community. She led the program H2O, Help to Others, which is a community service group within Lakewood High School. High school students learn to give back in endless projects throughout the year. They have held dances for the elderly, visited nursing homes, assisted with food collection and distribution, and many other activities. Each summer, they coordinate a summer service camp for middle school students. The ripple effect of her leadership continues today. Upon her retirement from H2O, Celia jumped right into a volunteer organization that distributes meals for Thanksgiving and Christmas to those who are in need. She can still be found hanging around H2O as well. Celia Dorsch lives by the values that represent this Rotary Award. Congratulations, Celia. The Mantua Club and President Kendra Becker are proud to recognize Jamie Leister, Dan Tillett, and Terry Tung. Kendra tells us in 2019, Jamie, Dan, and Terry opened Restoration 44 Coffee Shop in what was a long time abandoned grocery store on Main Street. Some were skeptical that it would succeed in what they said was a sleepy town, but the results have been amazing. The coffee shop serves as a gathering place for people of all ages, and they have been an attraction, bringing in people from surrounding communities by providing Friday night music in the adjoining mini park during the summer and Thursday jazz in the winter indoors. Their new venture, Restoration 44 Meat Market and Bakery, will soon open. These three have been an important part of the revitalization of the downtown and are supporters of many activities to raise funds for local nonprofits and to bring people into town. We are pleased to recognize them for their civic engagement and their contribution to the economic development of Mantua. Congratulations, Jamie, Dan, and Terry. The Medina Sunrise Club and President Shale Jane are proud to recognize Sandy Hinkle with her Paul Harris Fellow. Shale tells us Sandy Hinkle started as executive director at Feeding Medina County in October of 2014 and will be retiring in December of 2020. Feeding Medina County was in its infancy at the time as a 3-year-old organization. The Weekenders for Children program was servicing a small percentage of Medina school children on the free and reduced lunch program, and the Staples for Seniors program was just getting started. Under her leadership, those programs and others have expanded to serve many more at-risk individuals and families, and the operating budget has tripled. Under her leadership, many partnerships were formed, which have enabled Feeding Medina County, originally started to address food insecurity during the Great Recession, to distribute an unprecedented amount of food to the ever-growing food insecure populations in Medina County due to the COVID-19 crisis. She was committed to work, and her passion to meet needs were amazing. She worked hard 6 to 7 days a week. Her service above self is commendable, and the Medina Sunrise Rotary is proud to recognize her for our community, her efforts for our community. So congratulations, Sandy. The Mentor Club and President Dale Smith are proud to recognize Justin Bloyd with his Paul Harris Fellow. Dale tells us that Justin founded RB Sigma as a process improvement, Six Sigma and Lean, consulting training firm, and used this business to support the Chardon School District with Lean and Six Sigma training and facilitation of students to support efficiency improvements they needed to make in lieu of a levy. He took this experience and applied for a grant that was made to do the same with Lake County and other schools. He was in the midst of starting this when COVID-19 hit. He pivoted his business focus and founded a manufacturing and distribution business, manufacturing and distributing COVID-related PPE, in particular making N95 and other masks here in Mentor. He has hired 42 people in the midst of the pandemic and just recently added a night shift. He is a great example of using your profession as an opportunity for service. An example of this is his pricing for locally made masks, which are about 33% lower than what we paid for imported masks back in May. Congratulations, Justin. The Port Summit Club and President Dan Kunzman are proud to recognize Sana, Suzy Jaber-Genovese. Dan tells us that Suzy has been an amazing addition to the Rotary Club of Port Summit. She is a local business owner of several facilities, and she runs a local nonprofit organization called Caring Hands. Once the pandemic hit in March and people started to panic, Suzy opened her restaurants with free lunch handouts to anyone that was hungry. Once the National Guard was dispatched to our area, Suzy began feeding hundreds of those men and women weekly. She has continued to hand out free meals since week 1 of the pandemic through today, feeding both the homeless, the hungry, and our esteemed National Guard. Port Summit Rotary President and Mayor of Lakemore, Rich Cole, said, "I know for a fact that Suzy and her team deliver at least 250 meals to the elderly, poor, and hungry in my hometown every Monday. Next week, she is serving Thanksgiving Monday to several hundred. Suzy is a blessing to so many, including to our little Rotary Club of Port Summit. I can't think of any person more deserving of the Paul Harris Award. Many thanks and many continued Rotary blessings." Congratulations, Suzy. The Ravenna Club and President Eric Schlabach are proud to recognize Gail Pytel with her Paul Harris Fellow. Eric tells us Gail worked in Ravenna for many years. She is now retired and lives in Kent. Her heart is still in Ravenna, so every week she comes back to Ravenna for our meetings. She has been on the board of directors for many, many years and is also the club treasurer. Our finances needed some TLC, and Gail got us back into shape. She keeps us current with financial statements and patiently answers our questions. She is always one of the first to raise her hand whenever we need a volunteer. From flipping pancakes to obtaining speakers, we can always count on Gail. She is a past president and has had perfect attendance for 19 years. She is also active in her church, the League of Women Voters, both local and state, and volunteers every year to prepare tax returns in conjunction with AARP. Obviously, for Gail, retirement means still working. The Ravenna Club is grateful for everything she does. Congratulations, Gail. And congratulations again to all of our new Paul Harris Fellow recipients. We currently have 87 Rotarians in District 6630 that give to the Rotary Foundation via Rotary Direct. With Rotary Direct, you can contribute automatically with a systematic charge to your credit card or a debit to your bank account. You can do this monthly, quarterly, or annually. A $25 quarterly contribution would qualify you to be a sustaining member, and an $85 monthly commitment would qualify you for the Paul Harris Society. Of course, any amount is appreciated. The last several years, we have had a drawing from the names of the Rotary Direct participants for a Paul Harris Fellow in recognition of the ongoing commitment they have made to the foundation. This year's winner is Donald Matz of the Chagrin Valley Club. So congratulations, Don, and thanks for your ongoing support to the Rotary Foundation. Clubs that have 100% participation and contributions to the annual fund, a per capita average of $100, and a $25 minimum per member qualify as an Every Rotarian Every Year, or EREY club, and will receive a club banner for their efforts. So let's congratulate the following clubs for this achievement: Burton-Middlefield, Cuyahoga Falls, Fairlawn, Kent, Mantua, Mentor, and Port Summit. Great job by all of you. Now, as you know, eradicating polio from the world has been Rotary's main focus since the 1980s. And as Jennifer mentioned earlier, Nigeria was recently declared polio-free, making the entire continent of Africa polio-free, leaving only Afghanistan and Pakistan to be conquered. Our efforts have seen polio reduced 99.9% from over 1,000 cases of polio a day to only a handful of cases each year. But if left unchecked, in 10 years, we could be back to 200,000 cases a year. So we really can't let up at this time. We can be very proud of our district as a whole, where we were second in giving to polio in Zone 30 last year. At this time, let's recognize the clubs for their polio efforts last year. Each of these clubs gave over $1,500 to polio and will receive a club banner. The Rotary Club of Akron, President Patrick O'Neill; the Rotary Club of Chardon, President Jacqueline Curcioli; the Rotary Club of Cleveland, President Arthur Ward; Rotary Club of Mantua, President Kendra Becker; the Rotary Club of Strongsville, President Bill DeMarco; and the Rotary Club of Wadsworth, President Tim Mannion. Thanks to all of you for your leadership with your clubs. The Paul Harris Society is made up of Rotarians that have committed to giving at least $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund and/or Polio Plus each year, as long as they are able. We currently have 67 Paul Harris Society members. These members are critically important to the great work that Rotary does in our local communities, since it is the annual fund that provides matching dollars for both global and district grants. Thanks to all of you for your continued commitment. So this concludes the awards and recognition part of the program. This time I would like to thank past District Governor Steve Zabor of the Mantua Club and Bill Minnick of the Lakewood-Rocky River Club for donating some of their Paul Harris Fellow points for the Paul Harris Fellow Awards this evening. Special thanks also to the members of our foundation gala committee. Without their tireless help of these individuals, this evening would not happen. So thank you to Julie Brandel, David Jones, John Laird, Jackie Minotis, Pat Myers, John Reyes, Cheryl Warren, and Steve Warren. And then lastly, thanks so much to the Rotary Camp team for their hospitality, assistance, and for being a great partner to Rotary. And at this time, I would like to turn the podium back over to District Governor Pat Myers.
Thank you, Jim. That is just amazing. Congratulations to every single one of you. I was sitting here listening to what you have been doing in your communities and what you have been giving so that others can be helped through your donations. And I thought of all the millions of people that you're affecting their lives through this service that you are doing. Thank you very much. But before we say goodnight, we have one more recognition of a special person. And please excuse me a minute. I'm going to get something. I have hidden away. This award is to a very special person who has shared his expertise, his very insightful nature, and his resources on behalf of everyone in our Rotary District. When he was faced with the challenge of a pandemic during his year as governor, John Reyes immediately focused on keeping Rotary members safe. He was the right person at the right time during the 2019-2020 to lead this district. Even though words seem inadequate, John, to capture your strength in the last 5 months in particular of your year as governor, I would like to read this recognition. The Rotary International District 6630 presents this tribute to John Reyes in appreciation for his distinguished services as district governor in 2019-2020. And it's signed by me as governor and Michael Devanzo as secretary. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
As I reflect on all the blessings you each are providing to others, I feel blessed to know each one of you and to be part of this great Rotary family. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Good night.